Zaidi Boy here, aka A Rational Muslim. You can email me a rational Muslim at gmail.com, of course. Yo, the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see, but you may not be able to. The new development of the Ports Toronto stuff that's going on. Stuff. Like I've been online trying to figure out what the hell this thing is. And it's like the most amazing thing. I call it New Torontopia, right? So basically, like, there's all these amazing futuristic bridges, right? Like this tunnel is shut as part of all of this. Like this road, more or less, is gonna hit those bridges. You can't see them right now. If you look at some of the earlier videos I've been shooting, just recently, I go jogging every morning to Cherry Beach, and it's the shit, yo. It's the goddamn shit. All right. So right now, my intention, dear user slash viewer, is to take you for a goddamn walk down or up, rather, the Don Valley Trail. Okay. So this is the Distillery District right here, right? And so I'm shooting this on my Chromebook. I hope the sound is good. They usually have sound dampening. And the nice thing with the Chromebook is that everyone can see what you're doing. Like you pull out your phone and you start shooting, that's one thing. But with this Chromebook, like you just hold it like a steady cam, right? Like a waiter's tray. There's CN Tower over there, the obligatory shot. So yeah, I mean, like for me, this stuff is a necessity. Like it's a vital necessity, right? Which is what? Which is talking to you people, anyone, whatever. Like it doesn't matter. Here's the point: is this? Like for years, I had this question, as many would would be artists, writers, and creatives. They're called like creatives. Like in advertising, like the actual ad is called the creative. You've got the picture, you've got the goddamn words, the tagline, this kind of stuff, the copy. A creative, I suppose, is also a person who is an artist or like online creating content, things like this. And I've been talking about recently how you really should get online. I've been saying this to kids, and I come up with taglines and things like this. It's like, get online, do something, say something, or sell something. And you can pretty much do anything online by virtue of the fact that you can find people. You can go to Fiverr.com with two R's. You can go to Upwork or freelancer.com, something like this. Yo, you go to Fiverr.com. Let me just say this to you. Again, I keep repeating the same talking points. You can, for example, come up with, if it is meant to be, this is how it would be done. You want to create the next Farmville or Angry Birds app, right? So now you go to Fiverr.com with two R's. Okay, they're not $5 gigs. There are some $5 gigs, and that's probably how it started. You just hit up a bunch of app developers, okay, like 50 people with 55-star ratings, and you say, hey, I'm interested. Just message these people. I'm interested in creating the next goddamn Farmville or like dating application or like literally I've had like two sets of would-be projects like this. Best friend Jerome Robinson from university, like, yeah, we were both delivering Domino's at the time. He wasn't in university. He's a self-made businessman. He drives a Porsche. Hey, Jerome, if you watch this, I don't suppose you will, though. Yo, we were going to start something called showmydemo.com, something like this, a MySpace for music. I mean, he had an idea, and my cousin in Pakistan is a software guy, and he's taught at like the master's level. He's got master's of computer science, and he's got clients. He was in Dubai. He has clients in Pakistan. He worked for like some big companies out there in IT, this kind of stuff, right? And he's got essentially legions of would-be programmers as his students, things like this. So what I'm trying to say is that you got to keep giving it a kick at that can. I've reached a point where I consider financial freedom simply the following. It's what is called skills to pay the bills. That's a tagline by shoemoney.com. The guy's name is Shoe Money, Schumacher, shoe money. Yo, he's famous for blowing up the internet, as it were, with a picture of $100,000 AdSense check, right? So a lot of construction, like throughout COVID, right? Goddamn stuff has not just 10x, it's like 100x. And at times it appears that this in itself is proof of this goddamn industry, construction being mobbed and indeed being run out of Montreal by the Rizzuto family, things like this. I recently found another book about the Montreal mafia. Yo, and like it's like again, construction has 10x and 100x. I was a security guard for 7 years or so. I worked plenty of construction sites. Right now, when you mention this thing, the construction people, they just smile. Most union people will talk about like how there's a lot of Italians, and yo, listen, it is what it is, okay? And then there's no COVID masks ever at a construction site ever. And it's like I came up with this hair raising tagline: a well oiled machine doesn't run by itself, right? So, like, you hear all the hammers banging and all this stuff. So, we got a bit of ways to go. Like, this is 6 minutes. I don't really have much to talk about. Like, a couple of videos ago, I shot this thing called, 15 minutes of rambling nonsense. 15 minutes of rambling nonsense. Face me out, I've reached my low point. So that's a Napalm Death song, right? 15 minutes of rambling nonsense. It's like, again, like the Quran says it like this: that don't they see the noise? The noise. I just hope. I was going to start it up, like right over there around the corner is where we're going to have peace and quiet. And I just hope you can hear this crap, the air user. It's like I'm so wary of spending my time and effort, not to mention dodging raindrops, recording this crap, only to have you miss out because of the audio. Sorry about the sound. I hope you can hear this. And it's like, yo, when it works well with the YouTube, like it auto generates like captions and things like this. It's amazing. Like, so creating content, once again, just rambling, diverging, ever increasing, ever decreasing, diminishing circles, right? Creating content or art as an artist or a creative person, and you are too, by the way. People have asked me like, yo, like, how'd you come up with this idea, this kind of thing? At least I remember at least one person asking me something like this. Noisy, noisy. People ask about creativity. People are interested in creativity. Okay, like my family and friends, they'll say things like, in a boss and co-workers, they'll be like, yo, like really impressed by my stuff and my writing. Or my brother says to me, like, you do things online that blow my mind. My wife says the same things to me, right? And it's like I do have a computer science slash tech background. Goddamn noise, eh? Hey, Guelph. Thank you, Toronto. Yo, nice guy, man. That's what I'm talking about. See, like, this is the kind of thing. Like, when you get good at this thing, that's the kind of response you get. Like, people like waving and saying hello and things like this, right? And that's really what I'm looking for. It's like when you start a random group, a Facebook group, I'll just start a random call with a bunch of people. Like, I've got like thousands of Facebook friends. And it's like I don't know any of these people practically. Like my real family and whatnot, like we don't really interact on Facebook, right? For various reasons. Like I'm a bad influence for the nieces and things like this. So here we go. I think we've come out of the noise. Yo, you'll see a lot of cyclists here, like with some top gear, right? Like $1,000 helmet, this kind of stuff. And it's off-roaders. It's like, yeah, off-roaders versus racers. Like I'm an off-roader, so my mountain bike versus these guys just zipping past you. And you learn pretty quick that you want to stay on the when you're walking, like, and driving, of course, and biking. Like you gotta pay attention to the fact that people are passing you by. I went for a jog today with my good friend Cal. Like we're planning to do all kinds of projects together. We share a similar history. And I was telling him the same thing. So now in terms of the content and creativity, So here's what it is. For years, I asked the question: is art for the audience? Is art for the artist? This kind of thing. And for years, of course, the answer, it would appear, is for both. You're not going to create art or do something unless there is an audience. So the audience is the starting point. It's like marketing, right? Back in the day, I had my essentially my consultancy was called Sales and Marketing for You, like quote unquote on the you. It's for the word you. You is the most important word, period, more or less. I don't see a way around that, like, because it's about the other person. So the typical company will say, well, we're such a great company, and the usual shit, right? Like, so I want to go up there, like on top there, like there's kids up there. So I suppose I'm gonna have a smoke right here and whatnot, and you guys can watch the dogs, and hopefully, like, there's not a lot of noise. Beautiful condo developments everywhere. I was reading this book in jail. I mentioned on another video about Miami, right? Like back in the '80s, and it was like development everywhere. So you can see this, like there's construction like everywhere, like everywhere. What that little nigga want? Everything. What's the name of that song? Everything. And then the art, of course, Torontopia. Like these are things, like the things I talk about. This is a product of living in Canada for the last 20 years. Like literally, yo, Canada, like whatever. Like I got a book in here called "Death of a Patriot," like about the wars that took place between the Americans and the Yankees, let's say, and the Canucks, back in the day when these guys were burning, the Canadians were burning down the White House, eh? They burnt down the fucking White House like twice. Anyway, I want you to see like the dog stuff over here. It's so nice to see dogs off the leash, right? So now the art. Okay, here's the answer to the art is for itself, right? The art is for itself. Wallahu ahsanul khaliqin, something like this. The Quran says God is the best of creators. Now, as for people wanting to be creative, the answer to this effing thing is that you need to get out into nature, okay? Or meditate or have some place or way of getting silence and solitude, okay? At the very least, you want relative solitude, which is like you go to a gym and nobody knows you there. Like, believe it or not, there's a saying from our 60 Imam, peace be upon him, great, 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 great grandson of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his family. And he says that if you can spend your day in a place where you don't know anyone and no one knows you, then do this, right? Because it's only when you're alone that you begin to allow your thoughts to settle, which is what the definition of meditation is. You allow your thoughts to settle and then you face your feelings. I mean, the thoughts will settle in 10 to 15 minutes. Like, this is what this lady says in Eat, Pray, Love. You only need to meditate for 10 minutes. I don't know if I quite agree with that. Like, I myself have meditated for hours, at least a couple of hours, if not more. Yo, these Indian gurus, these kinds of people, like this guy, I was reading a book called My Life in Orange about Bhagwan Rajneesh, like this guy with the 92 or something, like 96 Rolls Royces. He literally had that many, like this kind of thing. He used to say that poor people, if you can't, yo, double crossing go trains. Yo, this is called a good day. I love these things. They're like hexagonally shaped or whatever the F they are. They're amazing, right? They got Wi Fi and everything. Like when I ride a GO train, it's like luxury compared to like the Toronto Terror Corporation. I give those guys a hard time because their customer service is shit. The Presto card that you use to get on this goddamn thing, that whole system is shit. Everything about that goddamn system is shit, apart from the fact that it does work and get people around. The Toronto Terror Corporation, the Toronto, aka the Toronto Transit Corporation. So art and content, right? Content is like this. When you create content, then this whole process is about finding yourself. You express your thoughts and you create art or whatever it is, you write, you do something, there's some output, right? Like some kind of content, whatever, like drawing or something. You must do this. Like you want your kids to draw every day, right? Or get into art. And so you want your kids to get into sports and things like this, right? So my whole thing is, what I learned in jail is, what I learned in jail is read every day, write every day, exercise every day, then pray slash meditate every day. And then when I'm out of jail, I want to do new things every day or explore something like this. Now, in terms of work, my my program is like this. I, as a sales and marketing guy, outreach, right? So you got to send out some emails every day and or call people every day, right? Like in general, you want to talk to new people constantly. In general, you want to do new things, right? And again, as a starting point, the 5 friends, like exercise first thing in the morning, pray first thing in the morning. You can meditate while you're exercising, this kind of thing. Like what you need is silence and solitude. Okay, so getting back to creativity, it's like this. You don't know what you're going to be thinking tomorrow or next month or next week or the next minute or even your next thought. And if you think about this, it's a precarious, if not untenable situation. As sentient beings, right? You're a sentient being, you're self aware, you don't know where you came from. And what's worse, you don't know who you are, you don't know where your thoughts are coming from. They're coming from like the void or whatever this is. Your thoughts are I slash me. The thing that you call me is just a bunch of thoughts and labels. So the Buddha said that there is no me. And unfortunately, he's onto something because it's like this. When you're doing your thing, like when I record these videos, it's like I lose track of time completely. It's 17 minutes right now, whatever. Like it could have been seconds or minutes, like complete zoned out. And this is what I do. And I've done hundreds of them. If you go to my original Zaidi Boy channel, Zaidiboy, Zulu Alpha India Delta India Bravo October Yankee, you can just Google that. You'll see my Twitter. I'm proud to say that the Liberal Party of Canada follows me on Twitter. Maclean's Magazines unfollowed me and then followed me back. This kind of thing. They followed me, then unfollowed me, followed me back. Yo, Andrew WK, I believe, follows me. This goddamn guy. Gary V fucking follows me. Like, I'm swearing because he swears. I swear. That's one of the reasons I swear. So now, you'll see my YouTube channel. You may see my LinkedIn. Yeah, I believe you'll see my LinkedIn. Zaidiboy, right? YouTube.com, Zaidiboy. Hundreds of videos. And I do have thousands of views and comments and things like this, right? So as a marketer, I'm continually looking at new like things, new channels. This is a new, relatively new channel. Like using thumbnails, not using thumbnails, titles, promoting the thing on Twitter or organically, or Facebook groups is a good way to promote stuff. Dropping a link here and there. What you don't want to do is you don't want to be the guy selling, and telling the whole time. Yo, the thing with sales is ask, then tell, then ask. So you ask a person, what's going on? What's on your mind? What are you here for? What are we talking about today? Why are we speaking, right? And then the person will tell you, and then you repeat it back to them. So if I got you right, then you have a problem with XYZ widget or boiler in your company or some crap like this. Is that right? And he'll be like, yeah. Then you make him an offer. You say, well, listen, if I can do this and that for you, right? Does that sound good to you? And like he's already told you what the problem was, and like ideally your customer should tell you what the solution to this goddamn problem is. Anyway, I'm probably done with this video. I feel all tapped out. Like I felt like making a video, and I now feel like wrapping it up. So I was going to take you onto the Don Valley Trail. I don't know if I'm going to do that, frankly. I put my boots on and everything. I don't know if you saw that. Like I put my boots on and everything, and I was ready for a bit of a hike. But I'm just going to take you up here. It's a nice little park with like some stones and things. And I remember coming here with Mi esposa colombiana. We did. So, like I mentioned that this last video, a couple of videos ago, like I was at my low point again, and the Quran says every 6 months, like once or twice a year, it says, "Don't they see that we just shake their world, more or less?" And the truth of this thing is that this thing can happen more often, like depending on your capacity. I believe, like the way we see it is, the more capacity you have, the more you gotta deal with. Like in terms of, if you can take it, you get it, and you're given it, right? So like when people are crappy, when they treat you like crap, right? And you're trying to be the good person, right? The thing is that if you know better, you should show better, right? So nice little parquet up here, right? I thought there'd be children up here. That's why I had my smoke. Rough life, eh, dog? Rough life. So cool stuff, right? A nice little vantage point. And there used to be a pig farm up here, if I'm not mistaken. Like Toronto is called Hog City. Good boy, nice one. Rough luck for the other dogs. A nice. Good job. Yo, so they got these little things all around the city. William Davis Company, right? And it's like, oh yeah, largest pork packing plant in the British Empire, basically, like more or less right here, right? This whole thing, this was all like a pig farm and stuff like this. So that's why it's called Hulk City. Hello. So there you go. So that's that. This is a lovely little parquetto. There goes the GO train. This is a beautiful area. Like I just moved here recently, and it's like I've been jogging to Cherry Beach every morning. You just jog down that way. There's Harbourfront. That's the Gardner Expressway, which turns into the Don Valley, which then goes north. And that's about it. I came here with my wife one time, and I've been wanting to come back. Hey, how you doing over there? Lucky dog, huh? No leash. So guys, like in terms of the content, hey, what's going on with you? You want to be on YouTube? Good job. He's protecting you guys, right? Good job. I'm leaving. I'm going. See you later. He's like walk. He's like walk. See you later. I'm out of here. He smells. Uh oh. He smells. She smells something fishy. Uh oh. You found a friend, eh? I'm out of here. I'm leaving. Sorry. Good job, by the way. So there you go. So now you create content. The creation of the content, whatever it is. So don't say you're not creative. You don't know what you're going to be thinking next. When you get away and you let your thoughts settle, or you meditate, or you hike, or you exercise, when you have silence and solitude, your thoughts settle. Then you get in touch with your feelings and emotions, and you got to get into them, process them. And after all of that is said and done, which takes years, maybe not, I don't know what to tell you. It may take 10 days if you go to Thailand and then you meditate for 10 hours a day and you're not allowed to speak. And after 10 days, you come out of this thing. People say that you feel like you're tripping on acid or you took shrooms, right? So then you begin to have what I call original thoughts, right? And you must follow up on these things. It's like I tell the kids, the question is not why, but why not? If you have the ability and the opportunity to do something, anything, like a random idea occurs to you, just give it a shot and see what happens, right? So I personally believe everyone can sell. I personally believe everyone's an artist. And I personally believe you must create content. Like Gary Vee says, everyone should start a podcast, for example. I have a podcast. I have a couple of podcasts. Anchor.fm/, Zaidiboy, Zaidiboy. Self help sucks, right? And I got it to a point where, once again, trying to break the code as a marketer, I got it to a point where I'm getting comments, which is goal number one, and then potentially I can make money because they give me like the option of putting in like ads, like a ad to begin with or whatever, this and that, like different options of where you want to place ads and things like this. And my whole thing is not about making money, but about figuring out how the thing works. Now, Gary Vee has this piece of content, as it were, called How to Create 64 Pieces of Content in a Day. And this is the guy who basically has a top 100 podcast on iTunes or something, or top 10 or top 100. Like they rip the audio. He talks. He doesn't like they listen. He has a guy called. He's got a goddamn production company more or less taking care of his content. Guys like top level professionals. A guy called D Rock or something follows him around with a camera. They rip the audio from this thing and create a podcast, and then he talks to someone and then they write it down, and that's a New York Times bestseller, like Crush It or Crushing It or Jab 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 Right Hook, things like this. And so he doesn't read books. He's one of these singularities, these exceptions. Like he goes to YouTube, and I advise you to do the same. Go to YouTube and ask, how can I make money online doing XYZ? Drop shipping, affiliate marketing, blogging, YouTube. How can I make money as a gardener? Like you can turn your expertise into content, create videos about stuff. And you know what? It's not easy, and you do have to pay attention to the details. I mean, it's simple but not easy. That's what they say, I believe. Like, have a nice picture, fill in all the descriptions, put in the keywords and tags, and watch YouTube videos and get into it and devote some time to this thing. Everything takes time and effort. Anything of value, right, takes time and effort. That's what Don Juan told Carlos Castaneda. Anything that is worthwhile, any kind of success, takes time and effort, and whatever you get for free is not worth crap. 26 minutes, whatever, over and out. Hope you like this. Thank you for watching. Shoot me a comment, and yo, see you next time. It's kind of rubbish. I don't really have a tagline. I used to say something like it's all about the kids because a bunch of kids were watching this goddamn channel. And it got to a point where like YouTube started watching, like they basically turned it into an 18 only channel. So it's like, yo, there goes half my audience, right? What are you gonna do? But these little bastards, right? Some of them, and I know some of them are doing this, and if that's you, then that's not a good thing, yo. It's like you'll pretend you're 18 and stuff like this. It's like people mind that I swear in front of children, and it's like I'm telling you that kids know way more than you give them credit for. Anyway, thank you. Be good. See you later, and have fun with life, right? Because you only get one